Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wabihi nasta'in ala umuri dunya waddin. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yaumiddin, amma ba'd. His Excellency Professor Ahmad At-Taufiq, Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs of the Kingdom of Morocco, His Royal Highness Prince Al-Hassan bin Talal Al-Muazzam, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Arab Thought Forum, President of the Royal Scientific Society of Jordan, d.Muhammad Ghazali bin Matnoor, Secretary General of the World Zakat and Waqaf Forum and Convener of the Global Waqaf Conference, Prof. Dr. Amal Jalal, Rector of Al-Qarawiyyin University, Professor Dr. Abdul Hamid Achak, Director of the Darul Hadith Al-Hasniyah Institution, Al-Qarawiyyin University in Rabat, His Excellency Muhammad Salim Al-Sharqawi, Director of the Baitul Mal Al-Quds Al-Sharif Agency, His Excellency Dato' Shahbuddin bin Adam Shah, Ambassador of Malaysia to the Kingdom of Morocco, distinguished ambassadors, directors of scientific institutes, honorable professors and doctors, respected scholars and students. It is indeed an honor and privilege to address such a distinguished gathering of visionaries, scholars, policymakers and believers united by a single noble purpose to strengthen the institution of Waqaf as a force for human dignity and sustainable development. On behalf of the government and people of Malaysia, I extend our heartfelt appreciation to the government and people of the Kingdom of Morocco for their warmth, generosity and leadership in hosting this important global conference. Morocco holds a truly special place in the global narrative of Waqaf. This blessed land has long stood as a radiant beacon of Islamic civilization, where faith and intellect meet, where architecture and spirituality harmonize, and where knowledge continues to illuminate hearts across generations. From the legendary Al-Qarawiyyin University in Fas, founded in the 9th century by the visionary Fatima Al-Fihri, to the countless awqaf that sustain mosques, schools and social welfare institutions, Morocco stands as a living testament to the timeless strength and beauty of Waqaf. I am profoundly moved and deeply honored that this year's conference takes place within the grounds of Al-Qarawiyyin University, one of humanity's greatest living symbols of Waqaf. For over a millennium, this sacred institution has embodied the finest ideals of our faith, transforming a woman's noble act of endowment into an enduring legacy of knowledge, empowerment and civilization. To speak about Waqaf here, in this historic century of learning, is both humbling and profoundly inspiring. Here in Morocco, Waqaf is not a memory of the past. It is a living soul of the nation. It feeds the hungry, educates the young, uplifts the poor, and preserves the sacred continuum of knowledge that binds our ummah together. Malaysia deeply admires Morocco's wisdom in harmonizing tradition with progress that modernizing Waqaf management while preserving its spiritual essence. This perfect balance between heritage and innovation is precisely the model that contemporary Muslim world must emulate. History bears witness that Islam was never a silent observer of civilization. Muslims were the architects of knowledge and the guardians of compassion. From Baghdad to Cordoba, from Cairo to Istanbul, and from Fez to Marrakesh, Muslims built hospitals, universities, observatories, and libraries, not as acts of charity, but as structured systems of mercy and justice. At the heart of it all was Waqf, the institution that transformed private piety into public prosperity. When Waqf thrived, knowledge thrived. When Waqf declined, civilization faltered. The lesson is clear. To rise again, we must renew Waqf as the backbone of our civilization. Today, we live in a world of transformation. The old order is fading and a new world is emerging, shaped by the rise of Asia, Africa, and the global South. At the center of this shift lies the Muslim world, nearly 2 billion strong. We are the youngest population on earth, we hold the richest reserves of resources, and we occupy the crossroads of global trade. Yet, despite this vast potential, we remain fragmented and dependent. We cannot afford to remain consumers of other people's systems. We must become producers of new paradigms rooted in our faith, guided by ethics, and powered by innovation. Many Muslim nations gained independence, but not all achieved true sovereignty. Our economies and governance were shaped by structures that limited our growth. Asia grows, yet inequality deepens. Africa is rich, yet dependent. The Middle East holds wealth, yet faces instability. This is our paradox: young, resourceful, yet institutionally weak. To move forward, we must rebuild our own institutions anchored in justice, mercy, and trust. Waqf can and must be the foundation of that renewal. The Global Waqf Conference is not merely an event. It is a strategic movement. It must evolve from dialogue to direction, from ideas to implementation. Through this platform, we can redefine Waqf as an instrument of modern development, a platform for unity, and a bridge between faith and policy. If politics divides us, let Waqf unite us. If geopolitics weakens us, let shared compassion empower us. Malaysia's Madani vision seeks to restore Islam's worldview as a moral compass for modern governance. It stands for sustainability, care, respect, innovation, prosperity, and trust. This vision calls for technology guided by ethics, an economy balanced by justice, and globalization anchored in humanity. Under this framework, the institution of Waqf in Malaysia is being revitalized, not only for religious purposes, but as a form of social investment in education, healthcare, housing, digital inclusion, and environmental stewardship. Spearheading this national agenda is Yayasan Waqf Malaysia, a government agency entrusted with advancing innovative Waqf initiatives. Among its key projects are digital Waqf Go Learning, educational scholarships, the establishment of Waqf-funded hospitals, and the development of Waqf-based properties such as hotels and commercial buildings. These efforts reflect Malaysia's determination to transform Waqf from a traditional religious mechanism into a modern socio-economic catalyst, fully aligned with the Madani ideals of compassion, justice, and shared prosperity. Waqf is not charity, it is a strategy. It turns compassion into structure and generosity into governance. Through Waqf, we can ensure that no child grows without education, no family lives without shelter, and no community is left behind. It can fund hospitals, build universities, empower farmers, and drive innovation. That is the spirit of Waqf, turning faith into action and benevolence into sustainability. The Quran reminds us, you are the Khalifa upon this earth. This is not a title, it is a trust, amana. That trust demands institutions that translate values into systems. Waqf is the institutionalization of that divine trust. To neglect it is to betray our duty. To revive it is to fulfill our covenant with Allah and with humanity. Tajdid is not about repeating history. It is about reimagining it. We must design Waqf systems that respond to today's challenges, from climate change to digital inequality. In the Ottoman era, entire cities were built and sustained through Waqf. Today, that same philosophy can fund education, welfare and innovation, freeing governments to focus on security and diplomacy. This is not nostalgia, this is strategy for resilience. The digital age is upon us. Artificial intelligence, blockchain and fintech. These are not threats, they are tools, but they must be guided by what I call Al-Quran intelligence, intelligence rooted in divine wisdom. Technology without values is dangerous. Technology guided by revelation is transformative. Imagine Waqf assets managed transparently on blockchain and distribution guided by AI for maximum efficiency. This is within our reach if we lead with courage and faith. Greatness is not bestowed. It is built through unity and endurance. Our true enemies are within disunity, complacency, and ego. If politics divides us, let Waqf unite us. If distance separates us, let service to humanity bring us together. The strength of the Ummah lies not in its wealth, but in its willingness to share it. We live in a world torn by wars, greed and inequality. The powerful chase profit, while the powerless suffer in silence. As Muslims, we cannot remain neutral. Neutrality in the face of injustice is itself injustice. Our faith calls us to stand for truth, defend the weak, and uphold mercy. Waqf is our tool, our moral framework to turn compassion into impact. History is our mirror. When Waqf thrived, we sought. When it declined, we stumbled. The strength of our institutions defines the destiny of our Ummah. Distinguished guests, this is our moment. The world is in transition and the future is unwritten. Let us be bold enough to write it through the noble institution of Waqf. Waqf is our civilizational backbone, our moral compass, and our strategic pathfinder. Malaysia stands ready to work hand in hand with the Kingdom of Morocco and with all partners of goodwill to transform Waqf from an idea into a movement, from a movement into an institution, and from an institution into a global force for justice and peace. May this global Waqf conference mark the beginning of a new era, an era of East-West collaboration, of unity within the Ummah, and of a civilization reborn in mercy, wisdom and light. May Allah SWT guide our hearts, strengthen our resolve, and bless our efforts in reviving the light of Waqaf for generations to come. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.